Hey all you amazing chefs out there, today we have breakfast on the menu. These are two of my wife's favorite dishes when we're out on the coast. The first thing that we're going to be making today is going to be a kind of a classical dish. Some people think it's kind of difficult, but it's actually pretty simple. So the first thing that we're going to make today is an eggs benedict, and then the second thing that we're going to get into is going to be something called Huevos Ahogados, which is drowning eggs. And the two actually are pretty similar because we're going to be poaching eggs for both of the dishes. One of the dishes is going to have poached eggs in water, and then the other one we're actually going to make a salsa and poach the eggs in there. So we have a really good show for you today. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start off with is we're going to get our hollandaise sauce ready to go. So we're going to crack a couple of eggs, and we really just need the egg yolks out of this. So this is what's going to actually be the base for our sauce here. Over this guy. So I like to go back and forth with this. Kind of go back and forth. It'll help get all the egg white out of the egg and help it separate. And we're just going to use 2 egg yolks. So we have our egg yolks. We're going to add just a little splash of white wine, a little pinch of salt, and a little pinch of pepper. And we're going to take a little bit of lemon juice, squeeze a little lemon juice in there, and we're going to actually start whisking this up. And so I have a pot of water over here that is actually boiling, and we're going to put the bowl on top and we're going to whisk it. And we want to just whisk it maybe about 2 or 3 minutes or so, up until it starts to get a little frothy. You don't want to cook your eggs too much over here because you don't want to make scrambled eggs, but you do want it to start thicken up. So we're going to let this kind of go for about a minute or so. We'll pull it off. As you can see, it's starting to get a little frothy. Go back on. Lower this guy just a little bit. And you do want to constantly be whisking it, so this way you don't get any of the cooked eggs on the edges. So once your sauce starts to thicken, actually bring this back over here. This guy out of the way. And we have some clarified butter here. We melted that a little earlier. As you can see, the milk solids kind of ran to the bottom. I'm gonna thicken that, let it go. And then we're gonna start adding just a little bit of the butter to it. And at the same time, you're gonna be whisking, adding the butter little by little. I'm gonna do this maybe about 4 times. So each egg takes about 2 ounces of butter, and we want to just add the butter nice and slowly. And we're going to add our last of the butter. So our sauce looks good. We're going to add just a little shot of Tabasco in there, just to finish it off. I'm going to add just another little pinch of lemon juice. We're just going to set that guy off to the side right there. Okay, great. So the next step we're gonna have for our eggs benedict is we're gonna go ahead and start poaching our eggs. We have the water, it's at a little simmer. We're just gonna crack those guys straight into the water. Some people put vinegar. I usually use just a few little squeeze of lemon inside the water, so that way it kind of helps poach it. Helps keep the eggs together. And then with our other pan, we're going to go ahead and add our Canadian bacon, just so it fries up a little bit. In the same pan, we're also going to add our English muffin. I like to get them all nice and toasted. And so the poached eggs take about maybe 2 or 3 minutes. I usually try not to mess with them just yet. Let them sit in there so that way the protein starts to coagulate, the egg starts to get a little bit more firm. If you like hard-boiled eggs, leave them a little bit longer. If you like soft-boiled eggs, I'll go ahead and pull them out just a few seconds early. We're going to go ahead and flip our Canadian bacon over. Check those guys. Just let them toast up just a little bit longer. And now I'm going to check our eggs. I'm going to lower this guy down a little bit. And as you can see, there's still a little bit. They need just a little longer to go. We'll just flip those guys over. Let that water just continue to do its thing. And then we're gonna go ahead and pull these guys off. This is our Canadian bacon right here. Flip those guys over. As you can see, we got a little bit of color to them. We'll set these guys right there. Go ahead and let these guys toast up just a little bit longer. Need just a little bit more to go. And it looks like our eggs are about done. So I'm gonna go ahead and just shut this off. We're gonna add our toasted English muffins to our plate. Set these guys on there. Set the Canadian bacon right on top. And then we're gonna pull out our poached eggs. Look really good. Set that guy right on top. Take our other poached egg. Same thing. Drain off a little bit of the water so that way it doesn't make your bread soggy. Get both of those guys right on top. If you join me over here, we'll finish plating this up. Okay, so now that we have our Eggs Benedict on the plate, we're gonna go ahead and take our hollandaise sauce that we made earlier and just kind of pour a little bit of that over there. It's got a really nice body to it. It's really good. I like to top that off a little chopped parsley. And what's a breakfast on the coast without a mimosa? So we have our champagne. Take a little bit of orange juice. Fresh squeezed, of course. Garnish it with a little orange on the side. And enjoy. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna fry our tortillas, make our salsa, and then poach our eggs. So the first thing that we got going on is we're gonna go ahead and take the onions, the jalapeno, and the tomatoes that we seasoned with a little cilantro, salt and pepper, and the lime juice. We'll put those guys in our little mixer right here. Because we're poaching, we do want to make it a little bit more runny as opposed to chunky. So we're gonna let this guy go another few seconds. So now that our salsa is nice and pureed, we're gonna go ahead and add this into our saute pan. And we're just gonna let that cook for about maybe 2 or 3 minutes. We want it to start to come up to a nice little simmer. And in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and start cooking our tortilla. We're just gonna fry it up a little bit. Want that guy nice and crispy. Go ahead and flip this guy over so that way it gets nice and toasty on both sides. You want to hear a little sizzle to it. You want this guy nice and crunchy. You don't want your oil too hot so that way it burns. So our salsa is turning a nice kind of bright red color. And we're gonna go ahead and turn the heat up on that guy just a little bit. And it looks like our tortilla is just about done. You can tell it's done because once the bubbles stop making that noise, you know you got most of the moisture out of there. It'll be nice and toasty. Look at that guy, about another 30 seconds or so. So we'll go ahead and stir this guy around just to make sure everything's nice and warm. And we're gonna go ahead and pull out our tortilla. That's now a tostada, because it's nice and toasty. And we're gonna go ahead and crack our eggs into our salsa. Crack our second egg in there. And get a little bit of the salsa on top, just to cover them. Go ahead and turn this guy up just a little bit as well. And we're gonna go ahead and let it toast for about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so our eggs have been cooking for about 2 to 3 minutes now. Just wanna kinda get right underneath them. We're gonna turn them over. I usually try not to crowd the pan Put maybe 3 eggs, 4 eggs max. Let that guy slide under there. We'll flip this one over. And now at this point, as we mentioned earlier, if you like a softer egg, then you can pull them out, give them about a minute or so. If you like a little bit more of a firm egg, you can leave them in there for about another minute or 2. And these guys look like they're just about ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and bring everything over to our main table and start plating everything up. Okay, so to finish this dish off, we are gonna take our tostada, and we have a little bit of a black bean puree that we made earlier. Little refried beans. I like using black beans. You can use pinto beans if you want. We're gonna go smear just a little bit of that on top. And then we're gonna grab our plate. Set this guy right on there. And then we're gonna take our eggs, put those guys right on top. Grab the second egg. Pour a little bit of this also on top. Take a little bit of our cotija cheese. Garnish with a little bit of greenery. And we're gonna take a nice slice of avocado. Set that guy right there. A little tomato on there. And there you go, you have our Huevos Ahogados. And just like any dish, you gotta have something to drink with it. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this guy off. Since you're on the coast or hanging out at the house, we're gonna go ahead and finish this off with a tequila sunrise. We take 1 part tequila, 2 parts of fresh squeezed orange juice, we're gonna shake this guy up with a little bit of ice. And then we're gonna finish off with a little bit of grenadine. And there you go. Enjoy. All right, so we hope you enjoyed our show today on breakfast. We had the Eggs Benedict with the Canadian bacon, our nice really hollandaise sauce, and then our Huevos Ahogados, our drowning eggs in poached salsa with the corn tortilla, black bean puree, cotija cheese. We would like to thank our friends over at Benny Keith. Thank you for sponsoring us with a lot of the great, amazing products that we have here today that we were able to showcase. And I'd also like to send a special thank you out to Chef Liz, Chef James, Chef Pablo, and Chef Andrew with the team of Amazing Chef Creations. If you have any questions on any of the stuff that we made, take a look at our website, send us an email at amazingchefcreations.com, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Thank you, and don't forget to be amazing.